Hey friends, look, it's me, it's Kyle Starks, three-time Eisner nominated comic creator, peacemaker, tries hard, Vertigo End of Life, Russell Heist, and you're listening to 11 O'Clock Comics.
Yep. There it is.
And I'm surprised. I was able to do that because I still haven't caught up on the sleep I've missed since. And hey, I mean, at least I'm home, so that's a plus. We'll get into that. That was a fucking ordeal.
Craziness. And Jason was here like a minute early.
Like, as always.
Yeah. What? Okay, we'll let them think.
I mean, listen, ever since you had your health scare, I've been here because I don't take any minute for granted. So
That's right. We treasure every moment.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's what my daughter Nina said on Cutlet's birthday. I messaged him and I said, "Happy birthday, Cutlet." And she had to say, "I'm so glad that you're here to celebrate with him." Like, why'd you have to say that?
Because it's true.
You ruined it.
No, she did not.
Yes,
she's expressing how much she loves you and how happy that because a year ago we weren't sure. So fucking, I understand her sentiment exactly.
Well, we can be sure. Come on, it's me, right?
I mean, you might have been sure, but every other person on the planet that loves you was not sure.
Well, haha. Don't bet against me.
You got the last laugh as usual.
Yeah.
Always bet on black.
And this is 11 O'Clock Comics, episode 1039, our special Heroes Con wrap-up edition. And I am Vince B.
Hooey, you are Vince B. This Heroes Con wrap-up recap is going to make you feel like you were there with us, Vince. I'm telling you. Again, I'm David A. Price.
Wow.
All very, very true. And of course, I am the world's first trillionaire, Tommy Townsend III.
No, you're not. Tommy Townsend III.
I mean, he could be.
Trillion?
With a T.
With a T?
The T.
I'm telling you, I moved those couch cushions for a couple of mil, right? But you're not. You're Jason Wood, everybody. Brought to you by who? CheapGraphicNovels.com.
Fact.
CheapGraphicNovels.com. Everything you need to know right in the name. Omnibus editions, trade paperback collections, DC's finest, Marvel Epic collections, manga, everything worth buying is available at a severely discounted price at cheapgraphicnovels.com. If that wasn't enough for you, they have specials, and the list is long, but DAP has selected some of them for you to hear.
This is true. There is the Baker's Half Dozen. That's on the Slack. And then there's the 3 from me, and that includes DC Finest Robin, The Origin of Robin trade paperback for $23.99. Before he was Nightwing, he was the Boy Wonder. This collection traces the evolution of Dick Grayson from circus acrobat to Batman's trusted partner and one of DC's most enduring heroes. Witness the origin, growth, and defining moments of the original Robin in this essential volume. DC Finest Robin, The Origin of Robin collects key stories from Batman, Detective Comics, World's Finest Comics, and Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, spanning the Silver Age and Bronze Age. These tales chronicle Dick Grayson's transformation from orphaned acrobat to Gotham's first sidekick, showcasing his solo adventures, team-ups with Superman, and early steps toward independence. Featuring work by legendary creators, this volume is a definitive celebration of Robin's legacy. And as said, a bunch of issues. Robin's major solo appearances from Batman, Detective Comics, World's Finest, and 2 issues from Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen. We also have Gigs trade paperback for $17.49. AI took the work. Gigs replaced jobs. Ordinary people are left to scrape together lives in a world that's no longer built for them. These are their stories in a frighteningly near future where basic income is supplanted by gig work assigned by the app. An octogenarian punk and a lonely young worker seek escape through music. A street artist makes art by night and paints over it by day. A has-been detective chases a case into a forgotten world. A drug runner makes a long, strange delivery. A writer marks her days on a decaying space station she can't leave. And a refugee asks for help in the last free place. With a hard-won blend of biting satire and humanistic passion, 2 creators from the north of England weave together 6 divergent chapters into an extraordinary graphic novel. Gigs is both a powerful warning about the oppressive world to come and a defiant celebration of the humanity that will sprout up in the cracks. And finally, New Adventures from the Trigon Empire, Book 1 hardcover for a measly $19.49. For the first time in 40 years, the Trigon Empire rises once again. Michael Carroll and Tom Foster bring you New Adventures from the Trigon Empire, continuing the classic, groundbreaking comic story originally told by Mike Butterworth and Don Lawrence. Decades have passed since we were last visitors to the Trigon Empire, and an aging Emperor Trigo has started to think about who his successor may be. His right-hand man and nephew, Jano, has already taken on many of his duties, but Trigo's estranged son, Nico, has inherited his mother's mantle as ruler of the powerful nation of Heracon. When Jano's daughter, Judel, is kidnapped from Heracon, tensions escalate as each side blames the other, and decades-old resentments come to the surface, setting both kingdoms on a dangerous path from which there may be no turning back. Will the Trigon Empire rise or fall? Don't miss the beginning of an incredible new saga.
There you go. cheapgraphicnovels.com. Excellent shipping and packing, too.
That's facts.
Truth be told, whenever I find a book that is about AI, I very nearly tip out.
Okay.
Yeah. To the point where
home, or
I just don't care. I don't care because we've been warned many times about the dangers of AI. Somebody has to do the work, right?
yes,
Whether it's rising on the lists or the spreadsheets or whatever, it's not the point. The point is, I don't like to see real human beings without jobs, right?
sure, yeah,
Some would say frivolous jobs, right? Some would say we're throwing money away. Let's pay a machine to do the same work as 100 people. Well, I get it. But truth be told, whenever the theme of the book is AI, I tap out.
I get it. I mean, it's like I was saying before about Avengers Armageddon. I just if a book's going to be about like an on the nose fascist modern American fucking dictatorish character, like I just don't like. It's like, all right, like that's reality. So it's just not like that's not entertaining to me.
They stood
so
by.
I get it. I don't have that same like the AI theme isn't saltpeter to me, but I guess that's because I've embraced my AI overlords more than you have.
yes, you have.
Yeah, I will never embrace them.
No, I don't think I'll embrace them, but I do like. I can appreciate stories on the topic because it's that glimmer of hope. As far as what we discussed that'll be in the bonus content for the patrons, and we'll get to that comic later, or you guys will at least. I am fine with that subject matter being covered in a book like, say, Absolute Green Arrow, because at least that has been the foil for that character pretty much since the Bronze Age, if not even the late Silver Age. So I'm okay with reminders of our present reality in some stories, but I don't know. Again, I'll have to hear about the Avengers book to see where I fall on that.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm drinking though,
So am I. What are you drinking?
As you should be.
and I'm not drinking Charles and Charles
Nice.
because they didn't have it.
Oh,
It was gone. So I bought some new stuff. I guess I had DAP in my head because this is from Menage a Trois.
Okay.
okay. Bless from
This
past.
is called Midnight.
Yes, it's their dark red. Their dark red blend.
Yeah, dark red blend, but it seems to be your catch-all infinity cup because it contains Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Petit Syrah.
Sarai, yes.
So it's just like let's catch the shit in a beaker,
Whatever's
and
left
we'll
over
call
in
it
the
midnight.
Hey, bro,
Yeah.
it's carefully blended. I assure you.
I assure you, yeah. 2023 from California, Menage a Trois, Midnight.
Respect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty good.
Ain't mad at that.
I too am drinking because it's Juneteenth tomorrow. Well, actually,
Yes.
if people are listening, it's probably Juneteenth. So, happy Juneteenth and happy day off. So nice 3-day weekend. So ergo, I am also imbibing imbibations. I'm drinking Stag's Leap, the Investor. That's the name of the wine. It's the red blend by Stag's Leap.
That's
Yes,
good on
and
the
it's
nose.
quite delightful. Quite delightful.
I like it. Okay. How does
It's a
how
little
does
on the
it-
pricier side. A little on the
I
pricier
figured.
side, but
I figured, but the sucklings rating is okay. It's like at least a 90.
oh yeah, no, very high, very high.
Okay. Good.
I
the
saw
important part.
bottles today.
What's that?
The was like $80, $80 for a bottle of wine, and I was
Okay.
like, that's Jason's price range, not mine.
Well, that's Jason's
yeah,
bargain.
I mean, I
bargain
must
shop.
admit, I have bottles of wine that are significantly more expensive than that.
Sure, but I'm saying on the shelves.
You can get the Stag's Leap. I'm looking now. You can get it at your at Total Wine for $48. So
Okay.
That's still
worth
beyond my-
every penny.
I can
I
imagine.
love it. That's
I'll
great.
have some of it when I come to your house.
That's
By the
right.
way, you know who?
Or we'll
really,
bring it to your house.
Like, that's true. You know who really low key doesn't like that I've become a wine snob? Like legit doesn't like it.
Tony.
No, he finds it entertaining. No, my wife.
Stop playing.
Yeah.
She pisses her off.
I was
Well,
gonna
I would
guess
stop
that,
drinking
but I'm like,
wine.
I didn't-
Yeah. No more wine.
Oh no, she likes wine. She just thinks I've become too much of a snob about it.
Right. Then I would stop drinking it.
Again, I don't. She doesn't want me to stop drinking wine. She just wants me to stop turning up my nose when I'm at a restaurant and I look at the wine list and I'm like, it's all trash.
I understand that. I would stop. I would become a whiskey aficionado.
Oh God, no, he's not. He's definitely not going to do that. Jesus.
Also, first of all, she would like that much less. I don't think.
Oh,
she'd like that.
really?
Yeah. She's not a fan of like just drinking in general, other than like occasional glass, like when you're out. So, I think hard liquor would give up bad vibes to her. I don't think
Oh,
she'd like that.
well then.
Which is why
it's
that
time
cabinet
to go,
in the dining room is rarely opened.
Oh, no doubt. There are bottles of liquor in our house for literally 15 years that are unopened. I mean, because people brought them to some affair and we just never drank them. I mean, I cannot, like, other than like when we have friends over and like it'll be like summertime and someone will want like a margarita or something, like we'll bust it out. Or like when Colin's home, he made old fashions while he was home.
Okay.
So
Respect.
that stuff got drank. But like, yeah, no, I mean, I mean, literally there are bottles in our house that were here the first time you guys came to stay for a con, and they're still here.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. For sure.
Well, speaking of the spirits of the hard liquor, you will hear this gentleman's name later, and his lovely pooch. But shout out to Mr. Kevin Long. I am enjoying. Well, I opened it. I'm not even drinking the whole thing, but I am enjoying the bottle of Blanton's he gifted me over the weekend.
A gentleman
Nice.
and a scholar.
Yes, he is.
I don't know if he's a scholar, to be honest, because I don't know his bona fides, but a gentleman for sure.
I mean, he's a listener of ours. He's got to be. They all are, right? Anyway, so speaking of Heroes Con,
our listenership is, we have a very diverse audience.
yes, it's vast
Yeah.
and varied. We as
It was a con. No, it was great.
as everybody is aware, last week, of course, the episode was released early because we had to. The night we usually record, Jason and I were already down in Charlotte, and getting there was a goddamn breeze. I had absolutely no problem getting down to Charlotte. It was great.
It was fucking a mint. You left out the Wednesday night shenanigans, bro.
No, I know. No. Yes,
Okay.
I'm handing it off to you, but no. Yes, I know. Yeah, go. But yes.
No, I mean, as is usual. Well, first of all, actually, I want to preface the preamble to say that, because let's get this out of the way. Humongous love, and Vince, I hope you, because I know you believe in karma and cosmic things, I hope you felt the love, because I am not exaggerating. I mean this sincerely. Like, at least 100 people asked me how you were doing.
And they send their love.
Yeah.
It's not like, but yeah,
Yeah, no,
want us
wish you
to
well, for
extend
sure.
our
Yeah. So and 100's probably lowballing it, and like if you get on, and I'm sure Dap had many on his end that I wasn't there for. So like, it was a very, very, you were very much missed and a top of mind to people. So I hope your heart is full. Go ahead. Or you?
No,
So-
just
okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, I know your heart's locked up in a steel vault, so you're gonna. But hopefully it's
No, I do. I do appreciate it.
Yeah.
I do.
good. Okay. So as per usual, Dap rolled to my crib Wednesday evening. We decided to go out to eat because we didn't really. I hadn't eaten dinner because I wasn't sure what he was gonna do, and so we went to a restaurant right at the bottom of my development called Cypress. And I was considering. I made a reservation on the open table, and clearly I didn't need to, because when we got there, we walked. Well, first of all, there was no one in the parking. There was like one car in the parking lot, which I assume was the chef. And we pull in and we walk in, and we're standing by like the hostess table, but there's no hostess. And I look into the dining room, and the dining room is empty, save for two silver foxes sitting at the bar talking, and the bartender. And we're waiting and waiting and waiting, and then finally, like, I think he was like a line chef or something, like came through, like from probably the bathroom, and he was like, "You guys good?" And we're like, "Oh, just waiting to be seated." And he's like, "I don't know where they are. There's like two of them. I don't know. They'll be here soon." I'm like, "Great, great." So this girl, probably like 17 years old, comes out of the bathroom, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." She's like, I'm sorry, I didn't. She's like, I was in the bathroom. And she's like, there was a chipmunk. I was trying to capture it. And I'm like,
Oh my God.
Sorry to start
I'm
over.
like, all right. She's like, yeah, but it ran through a hole in the bathroom. Like, this is just. I'm like, there's health violations.
getting
I'm
better.
like, you know what though? I'm like, it's all good. I'm like, we have a reservation. She's like, okay, we'll sit wherever we want. So he sat, and they have a beautiful walk-in wine cellar. When you're waiting to be seated, there's a huge like glass see-through wine cellar, like with hundreds and hundreds of bottles, maybe thousands. I don't know. So Dap and I are like, well, let's get a bottle because it's just the two of us, right? We can get this shit to do. So I order a bottle. The bartender comes back like 15 minutes later. Oh, I'm sorry, we're out of that. Okay, no problem. Order another bottle. I don't think we have that either. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I just want to point out you have a huge walk-in wine room, and then you have a wine list. So like, are they like shouldn't they match up the inventory? So then I point to a third. She's like, I'm not sure we have that either. She's like, but she's like, if I don't have that one, I'm just gonna let you come into the wine room and pick out something. I'm like, that'd be great. So finally, she did in fact have one of them, and we got to it. But it was lovely. Honestly, it was like we rented out the place. Food was perfectly serviceable. Food was perfectly serviceable. Nobody bothered us. It was right at the bottom of our development, so it was super quick to get to and from. So a nice way to start off the trip. Our flight the next day was not crazy early, so we didn't have to like get up at some ungodly hour, but it was easy. And our boy Dap put on his big boy pants, and he got fucking TSA pre-check. So we got through fucking security in like 3 minutes. It was beautiful. And we were off to the races. Flight was really a non-event as far as I was concerned. And we got to Charlotte around, what, noonish, I'd say?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep. Around noon. Jason Schachter and the Essential Sequential crew were on our flight. When we landed, I nearly fell out of whatever seat I may have been in because like Schachter's not generally the most warm and fuzzy person, and like that we were waiting for our luggage, and he came up and like bumped into me and like dapped me up and was like talking to us. I was like, what is going on? I'm like, this is warm and fuzzy Heroes Con. Like, what's happening? And then
Raj met us at the baggage claim.
Exactly. Raj rolled up. So we were theoretically going to wait for Caleb and Brian Newbury to come, but their flight was a little delayed or some such thing.
Yeah,
so
they weren't even
Raj
off the plane.
Raj Dapp and I headed to the Westin to begin our festivities, and Mario was already in the lobby waiting for us. We checked into our room, which was nice, and the room was ready. It was a deluxe room, although to Mario, Dapp, and I all agree that the room was either identical or slightly worse than last year's non-deluxe room. So I'm not quite sure what a deluxe room means.
Yes.
But to be fair, they quote-unquote upgraded us. It wasn't like we paid for the deluxe, so it couldn't really be too... Like, it really was neither here nor there, but a source of enjoyment trying to decipher what made it deluxe. And then, I mean, obviously, you know how it is, Vince. Like, you walk into the West and you start seeing a million people immediately, between people you know or creators that you know. And it was like that. But Mario had found a place that he thought we should get started at called Optimist Hall. And it's like one of those modern day food halls, you know, with like a million different places to eat and a bar and stuff. And so we hopped into Uber and headed to Optimist Hall and texted all the patrons and the patronies and the buddies and said, we're going to be at Optimist Hall having some lunch and some cocktails if y'all want to roll through and get the day started. And that's what happened. So we pretty much posted up there for like, I don't know, what, 3-4 hours?
Yeah, it was a while.
Right? Because Caleb and
Arnie and Ray
and Crusade. No, Ray wasn't there.
Yep, that's right. No, Ray wasn't there yet. And then Cliff and Justin showed up.
But
we were there for a while.
Got after it. Had a bunch of cocktails, lovely cocktails. Had a bunch of laughs, bunch of catching up on life, bunch of good food, some decent coffee, and then we headed to the next set of festivities. And you know, we did
I'm happy to say the one constant, or one of the constants, was the coffee over the weekend. I don't think I had a bad cup of coffee at all.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. And we did the whole usual bar crawl, Thursday sesh, and tried to get as many people as we could to meet us up at places and hang out. And it was great, man. It was just a day of constant conversations and laughing and checking in with everybody and getting a pulse on how their lives are going, good, bad, or indifferent. And I loved it. Probably my favorite day of the weekend, just because it was completely unencumbered and we had plenty of time to just chat and not be distracted by other things. So, as is always the case, really. I mean, the Thursdays are always like the best memories from my perspective, because frankly, we're not going to a con. We're just hanging out.
Just hanging out with friends. That's it.
But it requires a con to get us all to commit to coming someplace and hanging out together. So, and then Friday we had a little brekkie together and rolled into the con, and it looked like it was going to be insanely packed, more than usual, based on the crazy lines for people, both VIP and regular ticket. I mean, Vince, there were lines literally wrapping around the block, like outside for the show, which I don't think in all our years going I've ever seen that before. Now, honestly, it didn't affect us in any way, because we just went in at the con opens at con open 11. We went in 11:15, and there was no line. But some people waited for like 5-6 hours to make sure they got in the door at 10 or 11, depending on their ticket. And salute to them. Like I whatever. Like but we did not have to deal with that nonsense. And and I would say, like, once we were in the con, even though we knew there were way more people than usual, it didn't feel that way. And I give credit to the Heroes crew, as we often do, but it's worth doing again. I mean, shout out to the Heroes crew, particularly Carla Southern, who runs it. They always put on a great show. Aside from giving us the hookup, I think they do a really good job with the logistics. Like, I forget it was last year or the year before. I think it was 2 years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago. They had a situation where a couple of the tables in the main room were just so popular. The creators were so popular that it was really fucking up the logistics of the room because these long lines were like blocking the flow of traffic. So they really smartly have reshaped it where, whereas I guess a lot of cons would have that for like autographs of like the celebrities and the wrestlers and shit. What Heroes has done is they've kind of cordoned off that one side of the building to be that for the mega popular comics creators. So in this case, it was like, all of Felix's guys, like all the Absolute crew were in that area. And that was really helpful because that area had thousands of people queued in lines all weekend, but it didn't in any way affect the rest of the con flow. So really smart on their part. Like I think that was really glad they did it that way. Because if you weren't one of those people that wanted to wait in line for 4 hours to get DWJ or Dragata or Sanford or anybody else to sign your book, you didn't have to. You know what I mean? Like you just it was like a regular Heroes Con, and it was easy to walk around and easy to talk to people, and so salute to them for that. In fact, on that front, and I can't speak for DAP on this, but I saw Felix maybe for 2 minutes of the con. I went up and quickly like fist bumped him and Sanford and D-Dub and Nick and just real quick, just like, hey, you guys are like they were crazy busy. I'm like, you guys are obviously in the thick of things. Just want to say a quick hello. And really, the only person at their area that I spoke to for any length of time was Yams. It was Yam's birthday at one of the days, and so wished him happy birthday and chatted him up. But other than that, man, we were like, we hightailed it way out of that fucking area because it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy.
So. Yeah, I did. I did see Felix on Friday for a quick second. Said hi and let him know that I had a couple of books from Nate to hand off to James, Nick, and DWJ. I did not get to DJ. Daniel was busy nonstop, so I didn't interrupt him. I didn't want to kill his flow, so I didn't get to say hi to him. But I did talk to Sanford for a minute. Talk to Yams for a few, and just similar to the Felix setup, the comic sketch art crew was basically to their left, and which also had a bunch of lines, and that's where Tony was stationed, and that's probably
Fleece. This was Fleece's first comic sketch art show. He's a part of their crew now,
so he's being handled now, and he'll likely be set up with them again at New York this year, but. And that's also where Hayden Sherman was, even though he's obviously with Felix's crew, he was signing and handing out his commissions and pages from the CSA section. But I didn't speak to her at all. I didn't really know she was kind of in that corner. But Stephanie Phillips was next to, actually Rose Besh was between Tony and where Stephanie was seated. But yeah, and that's where we eventually found Tony and chatted with him for a bit when he wasn't busy. But no, that was great. And then of course, and all the way at the very end against the wall was basically Scotty's compound. That was his whole section. That basically back last row in the corner.
Right. They set him up like in one of the corners this year, which was smart again, so that they could just handle the flow better. But Scotty be Scotty. He'd be printing money. And he's lost a ton of weight. He looks half the man he used to be. He looks great. I mean, Friday was like just the hustle, right? Like, I mean, the daytime was the hustle. Just getting them commissions, talking to folks. I mean, I honestly, and I said this on my Instagram post, like, it was one of those things where I feel like from 8 a.m. until we went to bed every night, I was chatting up people, having great conversations. and it never stopped. And there are still dozens of people I feel like I either didn't talk to and I would have liked to, and or if I did, it was super quick. Like it was just, I guess it's a blessing and a curse. Like it's a blessing that we go to a con like that and we have so many friends and people we know that we want to see and catch up on. On the other hand, it's a curse because it's like so hard. It's like your wedding, you know, when you're at your wedding, like you just don't have the time to talk to everybody. Like it's just because there's just too much going on, and then obviously everyone else, they're and each of them have their own sort of path they're walking that for the con too. So it's like, I mean, I was joking with Newberry, like it's a good thing we had meals together because I don't think I saw him on the con floor at all. And then similarly, he's like, well, I haven't seen you on the con floor, but like we were both on the con floor for most of the whole thing. So it's like, it's just one of those things, you know. But yeah, I mean, Friday was great. I mean, a highlight for me was, it's no secret, of course, given my love for the Grunwald era of Cap and the Serpent Society. Like, I'm a huge Kieran Dwyer fan, and Kieran's largely, after that era, like largely disappeared from comics. You know, never to really be seen again. And he was at the show. It's the first time I remember ever seeing him at a con, so I arranged to get a commission from him. And I really did it like sight unseen because unlike a lot of artists, I had not much reference I could find on Cath of like commissions he had done. So it was like a roll of the dice, especially because it was pretty expensive. But I just love the guy, and I figured, you know, I mean, YOLO. And, you know, and as we know from like experiences like with Michael Golden, sometimes those experiences can go wrong, but I'm happy to say this one went really well. He was an absolutely lovely dude, completely unassuming. The commission is fantastic. He actually joked because I asked him to do a Falcon versus Coach Whip, and Coach Whip, for the uninitiated, is one of the Serpent Society members, but like a very tertiary member that Kieran created like half the Serpent Society during his Grunwald run. So I just thought it would be fun to, you know, to have him draw a Serpent Society character. And when I was picking up the commission, he was like, you know, he's like, when you asked me for Falcon versus Coach Whip, I knew I created her. He's like, but I didn't remember anything about her, so I had to look her up. Which I thought was funny that I knew more about Coach Whip than Kieran Dwyer did. But yeah, like he was great, and again, very magnanimous and unassuming, and he hadn't been to a con in 20 years, which is just absolutely baffling to me. He lives in Portland as well, so it's like there's been plenty of shows, but he indicated to Dap and I that he was planning on like attending them more frequently now. So I hope he's a regular part of the circuit now. I have no idea why he took a 20-year hiatus. Like if it was just because life be lifing and his career shifted in another direction, or he had some kind of bad feelings. I really don't know. But either way, he seemed really good-natured about it, and seemed like he had a really good experience this weekend. And hopefully he'll be a more regular attendee. And I have to say, for a dude that's probably in his mid-60s, is fucking yoked. I'm talking
it's like Monkey, yeah. Not as broad as Doug Monkey, but yeah,
rocked up fucking arms. Like, dude is like, props to him. We should all be so lucky to be in that kind of shape in our 60s. So that was like the highlight. Like again, putting aside like the literal hundreds of run-ins or dozens of great conversations with people that we all, you know, see or knew we would see. But like that just was, you know, the kind of the X factor for me of this con, is that I knew I was going to be meeting him and getting art from him, and it worked out really well and really warmed my heart. So how was your Friday during the day? I feel like we barely saw each other.
It's true. We skipped the Whole Foods for breakfast on Friday and went to Amelie's instead, and we saw Dave Wachter and like Jenny walking down so they could get to the con. Said hi to them real quick so they could keep just so they could go get set up. And then I think Saturday morning, as we were going into the con, I was on the escalator with them. And walking to Dave's table, and so we were catching up a little bit because and that's when he was really asking about Vince and getting a feel for how everybody's doing, and he extends his well wishes to all of us. He says, you know, we're all close to his heart. He thinks of us fondly, and he wants everybody to know that he's thinking of us. But we some of the more memorable interactions was seeing Mark Buckingham get off the elevator. And so we chatted with him for a few seconds. He's a nervous
Nelly, man. He's always nervous.
I know. I love it. He's great. But I had and Jason and I got to ride the elevator down with Mr. Dennis Cowan. So that was a highlight. I
Oh
absolutely.
my God, Vince, you should have seen Dap. He was a straight bitch ass mark, dude.
I was,
He was
dude.
like, hey, how you doing, Mr. Cowan? And then like he fucking was like, wouldn't make eye contact with him.
Yes, I was.
Fucking was
He was
asking
looking.
about asking
I
about
asked
the
about
weather
the.
and
Yes,
shit.
I did.
Like
Yes.
fucking, I was like, dude, like this is your fucking one of your heroes. Like get up in here, dude. Like make the
Because we're
pitch,
not at the
dude.
con. No, it's an elevator ride. He's
Bro,
low key. He's just like, listen, I wasn't
bro.
gonna like, oh hey, could you
This is
sign
two
this or what do you
cons
think
in a
about
row.
status?
This is
Yes,
two cons in a row.
yes,
You're let your fanboyness get in the way of asking Dennis the proper questions.
I know, I know, I know.
Also,
I don't know
Dennis
what it
needs
is
a
about
sandwich.
him.
My man is thin. My
He
man
is.
is
He is
thin
thin.
as fucking
He is a
meat.
thin black man, just like my father-in-law. Yes, yes. I don't know what it is about that generation, but they refuse to eat. Um, and then Friday we all made our way to Jesse Lonergan's booth because he was set up to do $50 sketches for the weekend, and we get there Friday,
Fitty.
and Mario knows exactly what he throws some options at him. I gave him a couple of options, but so it's already Friday morning. Con's been open for like maybe 20 minutes, and he's already into Saturday's list. So he was filling up pretty quickly. I don't know if he got everything done over the weekend. I don't know if he cut it off at any point, but
No, he got them all done. He got them all done.
oh, awesome. Yeah, I mean ours was ready. I mean, I told him we were there all weekend. I wasn't stressing it if he didn't have it done. It wasn't the end of the world for me. But he was working on it Saturday, late into the show, and that's when he handed Mario his, and Mario got a kick-ass Mysterio. Jesse had fun with that, and he's pointing at me, and I'm like, bro, if it's not done now, I'm like, I'll see you tomorrow. It's fine. He's like, no, it'll be ready tomorrow, and it was, and I love it. And I only had, I mean, I figured, listen, if I can get on the list, cool, but I only had the piece from Kyle Starks set up, which, as he said when he was a guest a couple weeks ago, those pieces were already done, and they're banging. I love it. But I also ended up with 3 pieces from Beezer. Ray gifted me 2,
Oh yeah.
which is a Kevin matchstick and a Hunter Rose Grendel. And Caleb, while he was going through my man's portfolio, pulled out a Grimjack for me. So I will treasure them. I know exactly, once I find the right size frames for them, I know exactly where they're going. But I chatted with Chris Anderson for a little while. Made my way, saw Cullen Bunn was set up at a table, so stopped by and chatted with him for a few minutes, because it was his first time back at Heroes in a good long while. At first I was just Mario and I were kind of just following along with Jason because he wanted to see where everybody was set up so he could either pick up his pre-shows or at least set things up, and that's when we saw folks like Michael Dooney, Tony McMillan, a lot of people who we've
Dooney
seen
sends
over
his
the
regards.
yes, and of course Tony Iuppi. There's the list can go on for a while. But yeah, I was kind of I made my way through Artist Alley to see who I could say hi to or catch up on real quick while walking with Mario. Saw Dave DeWanch, who he and I both agree it's probably been like 20 years since we saw each other. My number one fan for the weekend, and I love this man to death. And if I'm ever feeling low, if I ever need that boost of serotonin, if I want to feel good about myself, I just need to give Carl Slominski a call because I wish my wife was as kind to me as he was over the weekend. Vince,
I got to say, Carl and to Dap's point, Carl and Jen were like, they seemed hella happy, dude. Like,
yes,
and you've interacted like we've always enjoyed their company, and like we always talk to them at cons, as you know, but like they've also always had that like, sort of like, I don't quite know how to describe it, but like that little bit of like angsty, like the world's fucked, but like we're just trying to make it through type of vibe, Yeah. And I don't know if like they're like just because they're a little older now, or like their non-comics careers are going better, or maybe they're I don't know what's changed, but they seemed so genuinely at peace and actually like happy about things. Like, you know how Carl was always kind of like, he did that like indie comics like cool guy thing. Like, he always like kind of, you bring up something mainstream, he like wants to shit
Cool
on
for
it.
school.
He
Yeah.
he didn't have that vibe, man. And I'm telling you, we talked to him a lot over the weekend. Like, so it seemed genuine, but it was lovely. It was actually really lovely to see them seemingly be like genuinely happy about life, which I warmed my heart for sure. Yeah, for
Absolutely.
Sure.
And what also helped, I think, was that they were actually in Artist Alley. They weren't off to the side.
Yeah, they got a great table, great
in the
setup.
back. Yeah, I don't. And I mean, they joked and they were like, I don't know if they messed up. I don't know if we were supposed. I don't know if this is somebody else's table. And they gave, but you know, it worked out for them. They always seemed busy. He did a phenomenal Twin Peaks piece. It's stunning. I'll
was
find
really
it
great,
and
yeah.
post it with you. But and there was a great interaction at his table that Jason get into. But we also Matt Allison was in the midst of talking to somebody, so we kind of made eye contact and nodded, and then we like 2 seconds later he runs up behind me and gets a hug because, you know, he was just like, I saw you. I didn't want to, you know, it was fine. I mean, listen, my man's busy. I'm not interrupting anybody's hustle. So, you know, I mean, if you're there to do what you got to do. So, I mean, I can always swing back around, but that was extremely nice. I chatted with Andrew Cronky, got a bumper from Noah Van Sciver. I don't know which bumper I'm using tonight. So, you know, we'll all be surprised when you guys listen to this, but did get a few bumpers. Didn't get as many as I want. Tried to get one from Rico Renzi. He goes, I don't talk. He's like, I color shit. I don't talk good. So didn't get one from him, but did get one from his table neighbor Kyle Starks. And Kyle was great. Oh, and this is awesome. This is
Kyle's
absolutely
frenetic though, dude. Kyle's a lot. He's a lot.
First of all, there is Kyle made a point to tell me that you know, when he's at a show, people come up to him, tell him, you know, where they've heard him, or, you know, who's recommended his work. Pretty much, he said on Sunday before we left, exclusively everybody who came up to his table that said they were sent from somewhere or he was heard on somewhere, everybody told him 11 O'Clock Comics.
Yep, facts.
But yeah, so got to chat with him, and this is, I'm an asshole. This is the one regret I have from the weekend at the Weston Bar, which sorely needs to be re-renovated. At the Weston Bar, there was a young man who came up to me, and I, this is probably both wrong. His name's, I can't recall if it's Trevor or Travis. He came up and he wanted to let me know that he and his wife listened to the episode with Kyle, and that day on Thursday they went to Mertz and ate. So I told him, I said, well, you got to make sure you let Kyle know that, and he says, oh no, we are. Here we are. I want to let you know we appreciate the show. I mean, it was great. It was great chatting with him. And if you can, either info at 11 O'Clock Comics, just let me know what your name is so I can correct that. But met him, and as I said, later on the weekend, it was me, Zach, and I think it was Mario. Yeah, we were waiting to go get a bite, and we're in the Weston lobby, and there's this tall gentleman with a beautiful dog, who he has named Rogue, because she's black with some white stripes, and he points at my arm, points at my tattoo, and before he asks, I'm like, you know, it's a character of me. He goes, are you Dap? And I said yes, and he introduces himself, long time listener. What do you say, Vin? Jason, since like the 30s?
Episode 38.
Okay, so he's been with us for a while, and he told me he has a gift for me. I told him, well, we were about to run out. We were just waiting for the Uber, and but I got his number. I says, I'll text you when we're back. As long as you're here in the West, we'll definitely meet up over the weekend. And when we were coming back from the con to drop off our stuff, he was in the lobby. And that's when he handed me the Blanton. So shout out to Kevin. Appreciate you immensely. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the gift. It kept the weekend. It wasn't a blur, but it was a lot of fun. Just kind of, I just took my time. I stopped by a Dollar Bin and rescued 2 issues of Amazing Heroes and this thing that I did not know existed called the Kamiko Black Book. And it's basically just an Amazing Heroes previews it's a thing. It's a sign of things to come. It's basically, it's propaganda. It was something, I guess, it was $1.50. I don't know if it was specifically for retailers or if it was for readers. But it's got a timeline of what they've been doing up until 1987. This was published in 87. So it's got things in here that never came to be, things that were kind of redone. There's a Fish Police is in here, Ginger Fox, like everything that they were going to plan on doing, or they did have done. It's a recap of the company's timeline. That was neat. It's got a beautiful Grendel image on the back cover. So I got that, and I also picked up Noah Van Sciver's new book, Vibe Shift. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't a big shopping con for me this time. Did look for the items that you had asked for. There was one guy who had omnibuses for like 35% off. I didn't see anything that had anything for 50 off. And there really weren't a ton of omnibuses I saw. There were some. It didn't feel like there were a ton of single issues. There were the usual folks who had the collections. There's that one guy who's got the white stickers on the collections that we always see at New York Comic Con, whose prices are never really all that off from retail, so there's really no point. But for the most part, yeah, it was. I kind of just wandered around, checked out some vendors here and there, and I kind of just wanted to say hi to people. And apparently, I missed Mike Myers by mere minutes. He and his wife were there this year. Aside from, seeing Hassan, who was always beaming because he was always walking around with a new piece of art he had just acquired, and all of his pieces were stunning. He and Raj both bought pages from Eric Canetti from his Absolute Batman run. There was, and again, to Jason's point about me not saying anything to Dennis Cowan in the elevator, Hayden Sherman was kind of bowing out early on Sunday. He was in the Westin lobby, and I, as tempting as it was to say, hey, love your work, big fan, we still want to have you on the show. I let him just have his time because he wasn't at the con. He wasn't working. He was chilling. He was a normal person, just hanging out, waiting to, I guess, get the hell out of Dodge. It was great. We they did change things up though, Vince. We're not when we went to go pick up our badges Thursday afternoon. We got escorted out to the main line where everybody else picks up their VIP or 3-day passes. So we're not part of the cool club anymore. We don't get to go in the special room and pick up our badges anymore.
That's true. But again, no shade though, because they still
not at all. No.
Yeah. Let's make sure we hit the shout outs. A couple random ones, Vince. Like, dude, you know who we ran into? First time again in 15 years since I seen the dude. Sean Raging Bullets Whalen.
Yes, that's right. And Paul Spataro.
Paul Spataro. Yep. They all we were walking down the aisle, and all of a sudden, and I hear somebody shout names, and I see Sean, and holy crap! I mean, he hasn't changed. A little less hair on top, but I mean, that's still Sean. Same thing with Paul, but yeah, absolutely, 100%. It was great to see them. Obviously, our crew. I mean, of course, Mario was our roomie as usual. Cliff and Justin and Vander. Vander didn't get there till Friday, but it was great to see him. Glad he came out, of course. Brian and Hassan. You know, I don't want to bury the lead here. You know, our boy Ray was back in the fold, which was lovely. It was, you know, as I think many know, it was a 50th birthday present to him. Our boy turned 50, so we brought him to hang with us, and he was it was wonderful to see him. He had a great time. It was obviously very happy and grateful for the birthday present from all of us, and it was super awesome to get to spend time with him. I was lucky enough to spend time with him and his wife in Cali a year or two ago, but I know for a lot of the other folks, people hadn't seen him in a long time, so that was awesome. I think it was probably pre-pandemic since we last saw Zach. It's like one of my favorite things about the weekend was the people we hadn't seen in a while, like how at peace they are with their lives. Like, you know, Zach is super happy with his tenured position, and his family's happy, and obviously the documentary's going well. Dap and I had seen Arnie for dinner a few months ago, but it was great to see him at a con again. Obviously, Caleb's kicking ass, doing his lawyer things. Tim Meekins may be the nicest person I've ever met on the planet. He is incredibly generous. I mean, Tim brought, and I'm not exaggerating, he brought an entire suitcase from England, which is no small thing. An entire, not like carry-on, but like you have to check it suitcase, full of things he was gifting to other people.
Yep.
Like hardcover, 2080 hardcovers for people like Brian that he knew liked the stuff. Original art pages, zines, fucking sketches, fucking toys. Like, dude is so fucking thoughtful. Like, he literally compiles stuff all year long that he thinks like other people that he's going to see at Heroes will mean something. Like, it's just really, really, like, I mean, I can be generous, but I am not capable of that kind of thoughtfulness and generosity. Like just incredible. As we already said, Raj, shout out to Richard. You know, remember Richard hadn't been to a con, like our patron Richard. He hadn't been to a con in I don't know what, like 10, 20 years, I think, when we saw him at Baltimore. And he had such a lovely time that he made it to Heroes, which is great. As Dap said, you know, we had a nice chat with Tony Iuppi. He actually gave us a comic that he worked on for talk about like a really an awesome idea. It's called "We Could Not Be Silent," the deluxe edition. It's basically it's about a civil rights movement. It's a specific tale of civil rights movement that happened in his area. That he was basically hooked up with like one of the historical societies to make it for educational purposes. But it's lovely, and his smile is infectious. Tom Kelly was there. My buddy Don Mock I always run into. Rick Savage, of course, was there, looming large over everybody.
Chris Revicant
was there without his girlfriend this time, but he's still going strong with her. It seems like he's super happy. Cam Smalley, of course, was there with all of his family.
And that was a great story because he was not it's not just his family but also the dogs, and he kept telling his wife or asking her as the weeks and days leading up to Heroes, he's like, "You sure? Because I'm buying these tickets. This we're committing to this. Like, everybody is coming. Are you sure? Because either they couldn't get a dog sitter or they didn't want to board, but it's just like everybody traveled together. It was a whole family affair." And he seemed to, he got a kick out of it. He really was amused that his wife was just, and I think at some point, either on the drive there or once they got to Charlotte, I think at maybe that point she was like, yeah, I think maybe this was a mistake. But it's like, hey, this is what you wanted. This is what you get. So, but he looks great. He looks absolutely great.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously Scotty and Megan, my buddy Ben Rothschild, Seneca and Seth, of course, but I have a bone to pick with them, and I'm gonna guess it's because they really love you, Vince, and not us. We get there Friday. Well, we see them Friday night, and in the rare case we only see one of the Wilson brothers. And I was like, "What is going on?" And he's like, "My bro is sleeping." I'm like, "That's fucking whack." I'm like, "But we're gonna be rolling hard tomorrow night, right? We're gonna do the auction." All he's like, "Absolutely." Now, I did see them during the con, like Saturday during the con on the floor for a couple minutes. However, not to be seen at the fucking auction or a Saturday night hangout. What are the Wilson brothers doing if not getting drunk with us at the Westin Bar? I do not understand. It is incomprehensible to me. I want a congressional hearing about this. I want to know what they were actually doing. Absolutely,
means anything. Yeah.
absolutely unacceptable though.
Because I wasn't with you.
Exactly.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
But you know what,
That's
I
though?
think that's what it is. I think that's
Shout
what it is,
out,
bro.
shout out to Carlo because he warned us on Friday. We see him Friday as we're walking back after getting our badges, and he's walking towards the center. He warns us ahead of time. He wanted to let me know. He wanted to let me down easy and let me know that he won't be able to come by on Saturday night with his bottles and offer me whiskey because Saturday night his girlfriend was flying in, so he had to go pick her up and his daughter. So like he says, I'm not going to be able to go to the auction on Saturday, so I'm sorry for that. But he still shows up. He's like, listen, I've timed it out. I can be here for like, I gotta leave. Like he let us know, like I gotta leave in like 20 minutes. And then he leaves us the bottle of Old Forester and bounces. And then Arnie also had bottles of wine. So it was like Jason didn't have to buy the bar tickets this year. But by that point it was too late. But yeah, we weren't missing any alcohol really. But it was great seeing Carlo. He looks happy. He had just come back from, what was it, Austria?
Yeah, he was at an AV, like a
Yeah. Talking
audiophile type of convention.
Talking about oh my god, the phonograms and everything like that. Yeah, so we get to see him. It was yeah.
Any homeboys we forgot? I'm trying to get all the friends. Did we get? Is that all the friends?
Yeah.
I feel like we did a pretty good covering that. If I didn't remember someone, I apologize, but I feel like those were the crew that we mainly crewed up with socially. I actually had a lovely time chatting with Bill Cox, Cosra Gonbury, and Matt Sardo, who are the people that run Comic Art Fans. I'd met them all previously, but they had announced a couple weeks ago that they're starting a new grant, like a scholarship in Dan T's name.
That's awesome.
And so I made a point of seeking them out to tell them how much I loved that they were doing that and offer my and our support, like either publicizing it or any other way that we can, financially in my case or whatever. But and it was great. Like they're all like Khosra, who's the CEO of Comic Art Fans, is a fucking rock star, and yeah, so that I've really enjoyed getting to know them better. In terms of like creators that I chatted up with, as Dat mentioned, Andrew Kroenke is fucking the best. He's so cute. He's like Mike Norton was like 20 years ago. He goes to me, he's like, yeah, he's like, I don't know, like I think maybe it's time I raise my prices, but I don't want to be a jerk. I'm like, bro, like fucking raise your prices. You're mad cheap. It doesn't make sense, Obviously, Wachter and Jenny, of course, are fucking always great to see. I have grown to be quite close with the artist bullpen crew of Sam, Zach, and Kayla. Jackie Santiago did a great piece for me. Jake Baker did a great piece for me, and he did fucking 6 commissions for Raj. Raj is a goddamn animal. Like, Vince, you think I'm a maniac on Artist Alley for it? Let me tell you something.
Bruh.
Raj's name rings loud now, dude. He is like up and down the Artist Alley, bangers, like high-end pieces, guys no one's ever heard of pieces. Like, dude is just like the Pied Piper of Artist Alley now. Like, kid is fucking getting it done. Like, I found Jake Baker on Instagram. I got a couple pieces from him. I mentioned him in the Slack. Raj thanked me for it, got a piece. But I'm telling you, like, I saw Jake, and Jake's like, bro, he's like, your boy Raj has gotten 6 pieces from me. I was like, yeah, that's wild, dude. Like, that's crazy. Shout out to Jamie Jones, Jared Cullum, Johnny B, who I usually get a team piece from Johnny B. This year I actually didn't because I had him do a It's a Wonderful Life piece for Cliff as a gift because Cliff was kind enough to paint an awesome whale painting for me. And so I wanted to pay it forward. Justin Greenwood, who you may remember, Vince, we met at Emerald City. But he was there. Treebeard, Kelly Williams, Kieran Dwyer, as I mentioned, Kyle Starks, as Dat mentioned, Laura Martin. I did my annual her coloring a jam piece for me. Dooney, I think you mentioned already, Dap. Noah Van Sciver is desperate to come on the show. Well, not desperate. That's the wrong choice of words. Is excited to come on the show and absolutely wants to very soon. He's got a book coming out in October from Fantagraphics, so I think we're going to time it for an August appearance so that he can talk up the book during solicitations, which is great. Ricardo Lopez Ortiz, which I give him a lot of credit for because he did a domino for me, and I asked him to do one because he actually did a big run on X-Force a couple years back where he drew my girl. And to his credit, and it's funny because he's actually drew her in a published comic many times, when he was about to pull the piece, I was like, he realized that he put the eye patch on the wrong eye, which is pretty crazy when you've actually drawn her in a comic a bunch of times. But like, to his credit, he was like, yo, I'm going to redo it. So he redid the piece and gave it to me the next day, which I appreciated. Which I thought was like a very cool thing to do because a lot of artists would just been like, it is what it is. Artistic license, yo. So Anderson Carmen, again, longtime listener of the show, dapped him up. Andrew McLean and his lovely wife, of course. Anna Zuo, who has done a bunch of pieces for me over the years. I didn't get anything from her this con, but she seems to be doing well. She seems to be she had quite the activity at her table throughout the weekend, which was nice to see. Of course, Bernie Cook, who is a longtime friend of the show, frequent Heroes attendee and tabler. Billy Fowler, Bob McLeod, who seems very happy. I think Bob McLeod's starting to cake up a little bit with these cons. So good. It's good to see old Bob McLeod like happy as making that money.
I'm sure he had a lot of fun this weekend because his table neighbor was Al Milgram.
Yeah, they seem to be having fun together for sure.
Yeah.
Brian Level, great to see as always. Brian Stelfreeze, of course. Bud Root doing his thing. Looking old though, if I'm being honest, looking old. Carl Potts, said a quick hello to him, just as a quick kind of walking by the table saying how much appreciate his work. Che Grayson, who's kind of like the new hotness, of course, the new artist on Absolute Catwoman, and I believe Dap, as you noted, quite a fetching young lady.
She is a very attractive woman.
Yep, very much. Chris Brunner, who is another regular Heroes staple, always sitting tabling right next to Rico. I feel like that's always their vibe. Talked a lot with Chris Pitzer. Retirement is very much treating him well. He's loving his life. And I think my dude is hitting the weights. Pitzer no longer looks like a comic publisher nerd. Guy's kind of yoked. So getting it done in his retirement. Really inspirational. Really, I was like, damn, I gotta hit the weights more. Like you're yoked, my bro. No, he was, dude. Did you talk to him? I don't know if you talked to him.
I didn't get a chance to. Every time he wasn't at his table the few times I did walk by, and then when I did see him, it was from a distance. Even Tom Sholey, he did. We made eye contact, and when I was talking to, I think it was either Johnny B or it was when we were at Matt Allison's table. Tom was walking by. He had to beat feet somewhere, but we chatted real quickly. He said it was good. We both said it was good to see each other. Hope to speak soon. But yeah. So no, but I did not. Even Jim, I didn't get. And so it was Don Simpson, Jim Rugg, Tom Scioli, and then Tom and Chris were basically corner mates. But yeah, so they were all close together. But no, I didn't get to speak to Jim or to Chris.
Oh damn! Yeah, no, I talked to them all. They all seem to be doing good. Jim seems to be really happy with the fucking Z friends or V friends, whatever the fuck they're called. Seems to be happy with it. So kudos. Sholey's all smiles. So it's good. Seems like he's happy with what's going on with his life. So that's great to see. Let's see who else we've got here. Canetti was fucking. It's nice to see Canetti, who's at every con. It was mobbed because of I assume the Absolute Batman issue that he did. So he's on the come up, despite not like he's new to the business, but he seemed to be having quite the crowd this year, which was cool. Our another friend of the show, George Deep, Gideon Kendall, Glenn Orietta, of course. I walked right past Greg Land's table, didn't say a word to him, but he was there. Hayden Sherman, as you noted, Dap. Let's see here. Who else? James Heron was there. I didn't actually get to talk to him because again, it was part of that Felix conglomeration. But he seemed to be quite quite the popular attendee, as you might imagine. Jeffrey Allen Love dapped him up a little bit. I know neither Dap or I are like particularly huge fans of this person, but many of our crew seem to be very excited that Jeremy Bastian was there. I said a quick hello to Jerome Opeña. One of these days I will convince him to sketch at a show for me, but this was not that weekend. I saw J.K. Woodward like for like 2 seconds and like give him a quick head nod, but I didn't admittedly talk to him very much. Let's see here. I'm scrolling. There's no J's, Vince. There's no J's that I talked to apparently. Apparently, I avoid people named Jay. Kaylin Smith made her way back, which made our boys Vince and Justin very happy because she's lovely, but she also always is a regular jam piece contributor for them. Let's see. We've got. I mean, feel free to Dap if you have anyone you were talking. I'm just going in order here.
I think I got
list.
everybody.
Kevin McGuire, which I thanked. I thanked him because he had done an awesome Captain Marvel Carol Danvers piece for me as part of the rewards for the Kickstarter of his book that he had done a few months back. So he's always lovely to see. Shout out, by the way, he's not on the artist list, but Sean at Athenium Art, who of course is where he's just like he's like the coolest of the new generation of art dealers. Like he's got a really great aesthetic, and he reps a lot of indie creators that are super badass. And I just think like he's got a great eye, and I'm excited to like he's put together a stable that's just super exciting, including of course Tilly Wall. And our like many others, just great indie creators that we talk about a lot.
I had a near
Walton
mishap.
Weezy.
Oh, did yeah.
What's that?
So then I had a near mishap with until Jason stepped in, thankfully. But I almost bought something.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you almost bought something from my uncle until I let you know about his political leanings.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you had a random encounter with Ryan Oakley.
Yeah. No, I'm getting to that. Yeah, she's on the list here. Margot Peepoy, Vince.
Yes.
AKA formerly Andrew Peepoy. Margot. Now we didn't directly. Now Mario swore he was going to address Margot and get the answer to your question. But Mario is not a man of his word, and he didn't do that. But fortunately, because our boy Tony Fleece knows everything about everything comics related, he in fact knew the story that you were looking for, and we relayed that to you.
I did. Now I know it's not my business, and I will shut up about it.
But now you know, though.
Now I know. Yeah.
Now you know.
Put that to rest.
Shout out to Marshall Hinson, who was also another regular and we always see at Heroes. Also, we saw him at Baltimore randomly. Let's see here. Fife. Dapped Fife up a couple minutes, just talked to him. Talked to Mike Lilly for a few minutes. Morgan Herron, who is literally 21 years old, who has been tabling for the last few years, came up and found me at the Weston Bar. He was very excited, I think, to be 21 and actually be able to do drinking with everybody. But a really nice kid, really talented. I like his energy and enthusiasm is infectious. I should mention too, like Morgan is part of Power Pulp, and I have to say, like Power Pulp rolled deep this this weekend.
Yes.
Like between people that we've had on the show, but also like Jamie Jones and like. And Morgan's part of that. Like it was really cool to see. I think they're up to like almost 50 artists that are involved with Power Pulp now. So it really does seem to be getting some real momentum, which is cool. I think I mentioned very quick hello to Dragata because they were just like absolutely swamped all weekend. And to be fair, Felix did invite us on Thursday to a film showing and dinner that he was hosting, but we were otherwise Thursday night's about hanging out with the booze, so we politely declined. But I did want to mention that he did extend us the invitation.
Yep.
Had a very quick handshake with Pornsack Pichashot, who we had on to talk about.
I meant to.
Just real quick. Like he was actually at another table. He came up to the table that I was at, and then introduced himself to me like proactively, and I said, "Oh, I am Jason Wood of 11 O'Clock Comics," and he was very 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 magnanimous, very nice guy, and said he really appreciated having us on the show, and that he said many people tell him they heard him on the show, so that's good. For sure. Let's see here. Rico Renzi, I think you mentioned that, but like I always chat up Rico. I actually legit told Rico that I missed the days when he ran Heroes. For those new listeners among you, Rico used to be the person who ran Heroes until I'd say maybe like 5-6 years ago, maybe a little longer now. I don't know. Maybe it stopped before the pandemic, but for a good chunk of the early years we went, he's the guy who organized the thing and always did a great job. Now he's just kind of living his best life as a man about town, kind of like playing mayor, which I think suits him well too. He's just a very magnanimous person. Now it's interesting. Dap, did you see Ryan Brown was supposed to be there, but I didn't see him. Did you see him?
I did not see him.
I'm wondering if he just didn't make it because I literally never saw him, and I feel like I was up and down the tables, like I was up and down Orange Valley throughout. So I'm guessing even though he was supposed to be there, he couldn't be there. Would be my take, I guess.
You're right.
Matt Kint and Charlene Kint, of course. I had kind of hopes of getting some art from Matt, but it didn't work out. But I still did chat him up a bit and just tell him how excited I am by everything he's been doing of late. Longtime buddy, friend of the show, Stephen Green. Shout out to him. Got to talk to him for a while, which was cool. Let's see, Seeley. Quick hello to Seeley. I was actually hoping to roll back and talk to him more, but then time got away from me. I feel like he must be living his best life right now between all the stuff he's writing, as well as the fact that the Motu movie came out. I was dying to hear what he thought of it, but I didn't get a chance to ever follow back up. Shout out to fellow New Jerseyan Tom Rainey. It's he's the homie. Let's see, Trish Fortuner, of course, Tony's art partner at Arms. Vanessa Del Rey, Tula Lotte. Let's see here. Who else? Vince, I know you're sad for me. I did not get on the Art Adams lottery. Did not win a lottery ticket. I know you're bummed for me, buddy. Don't worry though. I'm making it through. I'm pushing through. Of course, Jesse Lonergan. Spent a ton of time with him. Keith Browning, Martin Simons, R.J. Albuquerque, Suspiria Vilches, Tony Moy, Daniel Govar, Adriana Mello, Brian Shearer, Bridget Connell, Chris Anderson, Chris Campagna, Drew Moss, Jae Lee, Slominski, Kevin Catalan, of course, my boy Mike McCone, Rich Hanneman, Steve Stegelin, who's a rock star, a wonderful dude, did 3 jams for me, and then, as you mentioned, that Brian Oakley. So, yeah, I think that's everybody, man, I spent some time with. It's a long list. If I didn't mention you, it's not intentional. I do have one note here. Bill Z was there, but I did not see him, which is baffling.
Cool. When Mario and I were walking back, we came up through the upstairs walkway. He and Brian, because Brian had bought 5 blind bags for Mask.
Okay.
And he and Brian were just kind of, and Caleb was there too. So yeah, the three amigos were just hanging out at one of the tables over upstairs by the panel area.
Right.
And so yeah, talked to him for a few minutes. Mario was with me.
Okay, nice. And then just to wrap up, like Friday night, we and I had a nice big group dinner. It was 13 of us. We went to 60 Vines, which is a really happening place. The eye candy was absurd. We had a phenomenal table right in the middle of the action. Our waitress was great. She put up with all of our nonsense. I thought the food was phenomenal. I thought the drinks were phenomenal. I think some of our booze mileage may vary. I will say in a very packed restaurant with high ceilings and a lot of like noise, it was hard to really talk to everybody at a table for 13. So it was kind of like a little bit siloed, depending on where you were at the table is who you were talking to. But nevertheless, I had an absolute blast there and had a lot of fun. I will say one thing: if I could do it all over again, I think we should have skipped out on the auction.
Yes.
It's been a lot of years since any of us really bought anything at the auction, and the acoustics are fucking impossible in there. And honestly, like that to me was like 4 hours we could have just spent more time talking with people. So like, yeah, bummer there. Speaking of that, like Dan Bryan, I didn't see him at all this weekend. and I know he was there, so that's crazy. But yeah, so like I would skip the auction, and I think again I won't be able to be there next year, but upon my triumphant return in 2028, I will be planning to, other than maybe pop into the auction at the beginning and say hi to some people. Like I think it'd be better just to bounce and go have some cocktails and talk to people.
I know Dan was at the auction. The first time I saw him, actually, I believe it was that same time walking after we said goodbye to Bill Z and Brian and Caleb, and we kept walking. Dan was on his way to the Absolute panel, I believe. No.
Okay.
Yes, I think it was the Absolute panel, and he was showing me that he had just bought a pad from John Workman. Basically, it was a DC. It had the old DC bullet on it, and it says like from the desk of John Workman, and he had John sign the last page. That's the page he's going to keep, and then he'll write down notes or just send notes to people with the rest of the pad. But yeah, I do believe Dan was at the auction as well.
There you go.
But yeah, he's steady moving. I don't know where he was flying out of or into, but yeah, he's the man's a traveling beast. But it was Saturday again. Yeah, the auction is what it is. Sunday, and again, it's always it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, because you don't want to leave early, because especially if God forbid you still have pieces to pick up, but you don't want to leave early and miss saying goodbye to people, but you also don't necessarily need to be there the whole day, especially as other creators are packing up and moving out, and everybody else is already kind of like leaving. You're kind of just wandering around, just looking at stuff and spending more money you may not need to spend. But our flight wasn't leaving until originally wasn't supposed to leave till about 10 after 8 Sunday night. So we spent the bulk of the day at the con, and then but because Jason and I and Ray and Zach were all flying out using American Airlines never again, we all took an Uber to the Charlotte airport, and Jason and I went to our gate and event, and then we did end up catching up with Ray and Zach, so we all had dinner before separating again to go to our gates. And then that's when the fun really started, because while we're eating dinner, we're getting dinged that there's a delay. So instead of leaving at 8:09, you're now leaving closer to like maybe 8:30. And then it was 8:55. And it was 9:30. We finally get on the plane, and we're sitting on the plane, and the captain tells us that that because of some weather up north, we're not taking off just yet. So we're sitting on the plane. They don't bring the snack tray or anything like that. They don't bring the cart around. But we're all just sitting in a dim plane, waiting to find out if we're ever going to start moving. And we do. Surprise! It's now well after 10, and we take off. And now we think we're moving. We think we're in the air and heading home. And the captain gets on the PA again and says that air traffic control in Newark, and they said they're not accepting departures. Basically, they're not accepting any arrivals. They're not accepting any planes. So we're going to see what they say at 11 o'clock. Because at 11 o'clock, if they tell us we're all clear, we're going to keep heading home. If they tell us, if we don't hear from them by 11, or they tell us don't come, we're going to head back to Charlotte, because we've been hovering over Raleigh, which is a couple of hours away from Charlotte by car. So we've been just hanging out above Raleigh. And the captain says if we're not moving forward at 11 o'clock, we got to turn around because we won't have enough fuel to get to where we got to go. So he says, oh, it's 11 o'clock. We're heading back to Charlotte. We're like, okay, great, yay. And we land in Charlotte to a ghost town of an airport, because the skeleton crew is there. It's got to be close. By the time we land, And then they taxi us, and he's like, "Oh, we got to wait because there's another plane ahead of us or something, or we overshot, so we're waiting to back up again." Anyway, we land at the airport, and this is when the bullshit really starts to happen, because they tell us, "Okay, we have found another way to get home. We're going to put you on a plane that's going to have a stop in Roanoke, and then it's going to take you to LaGuardia." As if that's the same as fucking Newark. So everybody's like, that's not happening. And Jason immediately starts looking for other flights. And obviously, we're concerned about our baggages. We both have 2 suitcases on the plane. And Jason's doing his thing. And then they say, okay, you know what? The LaGuardia plane, the LaGuardia destination isn't happening because JFK, LaGuardia, Newark, nobody is accepting. Everything's shut down up north. So we're stuck here. And fuck you, American, because it's weather related, they're not putting us up. No lodging, no accommodations. Basically, camp out in the airport for the night. And so a bunch of us start heading down to the baggage claim because we're like, we want our bags. Because Jason does find another flight out of Greensboro, Piedmont Regional Airport, which is about 100 odd miles away. Just over an hour away drive. So we're like, okay, cool. So we go down to baggage claim. We're like, we want our bags. We want our bags so we can head to Greensboro and just try to get home. But because, again, it's a skeleton crew, everything is shut down. Nothing's being touched until the morning shift shows up at 6 a.m. So now it's after 1 o'clock. And we're just hanging out. We're just chilling in the baggage claim area of Charlotte Airport,
bro. Just sitting in the fucking,
hanging out, just on uncomfortable ass chairs.
Nothing's open. Like
nothing's open.
Nothing.
No. So I mean, if you brought snacks or anything, great. Otherwise, you're SOL. As we get closer to 6 o'clock, I walk over to baggage and to the office. I'm asking, and they tell me the same thing, but it's a different crew, different desk crew, still telling us the same thing. So finally, 6 o'clock comes in, and we're like, where's our bags? And they're like, okay, well, there's a 50-50 chance. We can't guarantee that they're going to pull your bags because of the way the system is. So you can wait and see if your bag shows up here, or it's just going to go to Newark as it was originally intended. So we're like, oh, what the fuck? So Jason, and I understand homeboy, he's just doing what the computer's telling him, and he's the standard associate.
He's a messenger.
Yes, exactly. So he can only tell you what he can tell you. He's not a manager. He's just a worker bee. So we do get the manager, and the manager says, "Okay, this is what I can recommend." And he tells us, "I would keep your bags on the plane that's going to Newark. This way, it'll be at Newark when you get there. You're telling me you're going to get a flight out of Greensboro. Cool. You're going to go to Newark. Your bags will be there." So Jason's like, "All right, bet. Do that." I give him my tag. We're both like, keep them on the plane. They'll be in Newark when we get there. While we were waiting, I hit up the rental cars, and I'm like, all right, I find a midsizer. I'm like, this is great. Let's do this. We'll just head to Greensboro. And so rent a cute little Hyundai Elantra. CarPlay isn't connected. So thankfully I had my co-pilot with me. He had the Waze going. At least it did get to play my playlist. So we had some DMB, we had some hip hop, we had some new wave. Just chugging along, listening to tunes, heading towards Greensboro. Get to Greensboro Airport. It's a tiny little place. It's cute. But we still have we got 5 hours to go because our flight wasn't leaving till after 2 o'clock. So it's like barely 9 o'clock in the morning at this point. And so we're hanging out. Jason checks his the baggage tag, and it's already in Newark. It was on that morning flight. Jason's bag's in Newark. I'm looking at mine. It says it's still in Charlotte, and I'm like, okay. So then I get on the American app, and I'm chatting with Pitesh, and I'm like, okay, tell me this is what's going on, and I guess because our bags were connected. he's telling me, yeah, no, it's in Newark. I'm telling you, it's in Newark. This is a confirmation. It's in Newark. You can take my word for it. It is in Newark. I'm like, thank you very much. Have a great day. We board the plane. I take my seat. I get a phone call. It's American Airlines. They tell me, great news. You can come get your suitcase. It's here in baggage claim. Are you fucking... I'm in my seat. We are minutes away from taking off out of Greensboro. How do you think I'm getting to Charlotte to get my bag? I need this to go to Newark now. She goes, oh, so LaGuardia? I'm like, no, stop saying LaGuardia. I want nothing to do with LaGuardia. LaGuardia was a pipe dream last night, 12 hours ago. No one's thinking about fucking LaGuardia. My bag needs to go to Newark.
Yeah, the fact that American thinks that LaGuardia is an equivalent destination to Newark is fucking wild.
Bananas.
They're fucking, like, they might as well be in fucking other parts of the country. They're stupid. Hours away from each other. It's ridiculous.
So, I lose my shit a little bit. And she's as polite as can be. She's giving me all the information. She's like, this is the claim, this is the number, this is what you need to do. Because either if it gets to LaGuardia, it'll either be then sent to your nearest airport, or I can make this thing to have it just delivered to my home or whatever. But I need this bag to go to Newark. She goes, okay, it's going to be. She says that's what we're going to do. We're going to do everything we can to get it to Newark. I says, okay, great. We land in Newark. We head over to we and Jason's tried and true. We flew back on United, and so we make our way to the American terminal. Jason's bag is there. Yay. I asked the woman behind the counter, give her my bag information. She says, yes, it's on the flight that was originally supposed to arrive at 6:59, but it's coming in at 7:12 now. So we have like over 2 hours to just hang out at another fucking airport waiting for my bag to show up. My bag shows up, finally. I pull it off the baggage claim. We get to Jason's house. I don't want to make you jealous, Vince. I get the best and tightest hug from Jason's wife that I've ever received.
Yes, sir.
And she's just like, welcome home. And I grab my stuff. I throw it in my car. And I get home about 24 hours later than I had originally intended, because we were supposed to land after 10 o'clock Sunday night. And yeah, I walk in the door. Have to be after 11, close to midnight or so, Monday night, and come home, shower, and just crash. So that was the end of the weekend. Quite an adventure, but yes, Heroes, as always, is a wonderful show. I do believe, well, I know Jason is definitely, but I do believe we will not be attending in 2027, which is again not on Father's Day weekend. But as always, if you can get to Heroes, it is still the best comic-centric convention in this country. Highly recommended, 100%, and I cannot wait to return.
Oh, show. Yeah, great show. Would have been even better without you. I mean, with you rather, but we had a great time. No, we had a great time, in spite of your absence, and I love all of our brothers who were there. Whether I spent hours with you or minutes, I hope it was worth it, because it was great for me. So,
and as much as I regret losing my shit to the young woman while we were in Newark and I was waiting for my bag, I did call the number and wanted to apologize, because my frustration got the better of me, and the woman had she didn't deserve that. She was just telling me what she had to tell me, and so I wanted to let them know that I deeply regret and apologize for my behavior on the plane, because it wasn't anything I could do. But yes, it was an adventure. It's not a trip I will forget anytime soon. The good and bad, but yeah, now we're home and we can talk about some new comics.
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, long story long, we were up for Dap was up even. I was up for 41 hours straight. And since Dap had to drive home, he was even up even longer. Yeah.
I mean, I took a power nap on the plane, but I mean, even that. I mean, and from Greensboro is an even shorter flight because it's further north than Charlotte. But that may be about 40 minutes or so. But yeah. I was up since 8:30 Sunday morning. I was up until I finally got home Monday night.
Facts.
Yeah, long to crazy.
Yes, sir.
It's a long day. Well, thank you for regaling me with that.
Thank you for putting.
It's like you were there, buddy.
It is. Like I was. Let's get this out of the way. Yeah, let me come up from the dregs. Avengers Armageddon. I have a lot of problems with this issue.
Do tell.
Mostly, well, on a good day, on a very good day, General Thunderbolt Ross has a tough time with Banner. That's on a good day,
right,
for Ross. I do not believe that, number one, Thunderbolt Ross as the Red Hulk could escape Doctor Doom because Thunderbolt Ross is not as smart as Banner, and Banner is not as smart as Doctor Doom. Okay? So I don't believe that, whether he was tortured or whatever, Crimea River, I don't believe that Thunderbolt Ross can escape Doctor Doom. Number two, they require you to have read everything. Well, I'm being facetious, but at least Captain America and the Red Hulk and the Fall of Doom, they basically a lot of what Chip Zdarsky has written at Marvel.
Yeah, for sure. And like not even any editorial notes in case you didn't read the stuff. Like literally like I know we were saying off before air, like there's a point where the page turns and it's a hospital bed and there's a blonde muscular dude looking fucking rough. And I immediately assumed, given the context of the book, that it was Steve Rogers. But it doesn't say Steve Rogers. It doesn't have a little caption that says Steve Rogers. It doesn't say C Captain America issue X. It just is a fucking blonde dude in a hospital bed recuperating, and Bucky and Sam are there. So you're like, oh, it must be Steve Rogers. But like, I was like, how did he get fucked up? Why is he fucked up? Is he dying? Like, who beat him up? Like, none of it's ever addressed. Yeah. I'm like, okay. I'm like, so this is really poor. Like, because again, even though the stuff is all continuity, to your point, I believe more than ever, frankly, that these companies, especially the editors, owe a duty to assume that this is the first time you're ever reading these books.
Exactly.
Like, and from that vantage, it's an absolute fucking abject failure of epic proportions. And honestly, because I spent 30 years reading almost every Marvel book published, I might not have even noticed in the past. But since I read very little Marvel now, I feel like I was like, this book is not for me. Like, I don't know fucking any bit of what's happening here. I don't know why it's happening. I don't know how they all interacted that led up to this. I don't know any.
Right.
So the chess pieces on the board. But go ahead. Yeah, sorry. But
no, I read Captain Chip Zdarsky's Captain America and the Red Hulk, and I read everything that tied into this issue, and obviously, it's not just the Avengers; it's the X-Men, it's the Fantastic Four, it's Spider-Man. It's like it's a lot, right? I'm thinking that under Chip Zdarsky's watch, this David Colton character is important. Now we're told that Carol Danvers is incredibly powerful, meaning that she's one of the most powerful characters in the Marvel Universe. This David Colton had the super soldier serum, and he's able to take out Carol Danvers. Like, what? Who's writing this thing? Not only is he able to take out Carol Danvers, he catches Sam Shield. Like, I don't. There's a suspension of disbelief that comes with this kind of storyline, but they're asking a lot. I mean,
I do know this just from not from reading the comics themselves, but from reading the news in the States. Zdarsky introduced Colton in the first issue of his Cap run, which
right?
yeah.
Yeah. And he's powerful. He is. He gets the job done. But Carol Danvers? Really? He takes out Carol? And spoiler for those who give a shit. I don't see why he would. But he takes out Carol Danvers with minimal effort. And it's laughable. The whole thing. The cover is not bad, but the fact that Red Hulk can be a player on this scale is a joke. Like the FF wouldn't have a problem with the Red Hulk. The Avengers sure as hell wouldn't have a problem with the Red Hulk. Spider-Man, maybe, but. The X-Men? Real? What? Are you out of your mind? Like, don't. I'm telling you, don't read Avengers Armageddon #1 because it stinks. It is the textbook of a bad event. First of all, the suspension of disbelief is not there. They require you to have read the gamma radiated island that spawned characters that appear in this book, and it's like, I didn't read that. What the hell? I read it, but the average reader, I'm sure, didn't read it. And Namor, like, what book is he in? I just thought it was bad. I thought it was.
Agreed.
It was a piece of shit. Yeah, it really was.
God damn.
I'm not gonna mince words. It was a textbook equivalent of how not to do an event.
Agree.
Yeah. Once you read it, you'll be like,
No, don't bother reading.
I think I'm good.
Don't bother. Yeah, because you'll never get the. It's wordy as hell. No, whatever. And there's no payoff. There's
No
none.
payoff. Yeah, agreed.
There's no payoff. I get the irony of a dictator coming into Latveria, supplementing Doom with equal fervor, so to speak. But if that's the entire premise on which your miniseries lays, then you're doing not doing it right.
For
You're
sure.
not doing it. Yeah. So Avengers Armageddon #1 is basically crap. Yeah. In case you want to know, it's written by Chip Zdarsky with art by Delio Diaz and Frank Alpizar, with color art by Jesus Aburtov and lettering by Corey Petit. It's garbage.
Carbaggio.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah, it's really bad.
It
Really
do be like that though.
Uh,
I guess I've only
yeah,
read. I guess I read the only. I've read anything that I'll enjoy by Zdarsky between those random issues of Marvel 2-in-1 and the first issue or two of Avengers Twilight.
yeah.
I'm good.
Well, Avengers Twilight looks like a masterpiece compared to Armageddon.
Well,
For sure.
I enjoyed Avengers Twilight.
yeah,
Same.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
But why don't we turn our attention to something we all did enjoy, or any of us didn't?
Okay. What do you say?
Oh, I mean, I had lots of things I enjoyed. I mean, I'd say that the thing that I probably was most excited for this week, and I think really delivered, was Concrete: Stars Over Sand #1, written and drawn by Paul Chadwick. I almost can't believe that we have new Concrete. I probably should have looked up how long it's been, but it's been a fucking really long time. And this is the first of a 5-issue return to the characters by Chadwick. You'd have to go way back into the archives to hear us talk about this book, but I read it a few years into us doing the show and absolutely fucking fell in love with it, and just thought it was a masterpiece and just beautiful and so different than pretty much any other comic that was out at the time. And this kind of picks. I mean, I will say that this is definitely not a book where this is not a thing to be reading if you are not like already steeped in Concrete. This is not for new readers. This is not like to reintroduce the character to a new generation. This is pretty much like the next issue in the ongoing saga. Where like it does presume that you just know who Concrete is, what his deal is, the journey cast. It presumes you know who Larry and Maureen are. It presumes you know why there's a baby Concrete in hanging out with them. Like there's a lot. Again, there is a lot of presumption here that you are familiar with the source material intimately. And given that it's been it's been 20 years since a Concrete comic came out. That is a big assumption. That is a big ask, if I'm being fair. So like I have to be fair with my commentary, right? Because I was just criticizing Avengers Armageddon for not treating this was like new readers, and for a book that hasn't been a character that hasn't been published in 20 years, you probably should assume that some of the people that are going to read it are not intimately familiar with what happened before, and this book does nothing to ameliorate that. So I fair is fair. But that said, as someone who is intimately familiar with Concrete and did feel like I had a pretty good memory of what had happened before, I loved everything about it. Chadwick looks as great as an artist as he's ever looked. I just felt like putting on a comfortable pair of jeans that you found in the back of your drawer and forgot were there, and they still fit. So I'm here for it. It's beautiful. It's as quirky and strange and non sequitur as it used to be, and I just thought it was great. So for anyone who remembers Concrete and loved it, this is going to be right up your alley. For any of you who have heard old heads like us talk about Concrete and we're like, maybe I'll jump in, this is instead pick up the first trade of the original collections and read that.
Nice. A small addendum to what you said. I believe it's 3 issues, not 5.
No, it's 5. It's 5. 1 of 5.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm
maybe
looking at the Dark Horse Solicit right now.
maybe they're taking a month off because it's not on DCBS this month.
Oh,
Yeah, that may be. Maybe you need, but it's 5-issue series, or
Good.
at least per the solicit. Yeah.
Good.
Mhm.
I will not read Concrete digitally, so I'm waiting for my my physical issue to come.
Yeah, my
I get
issues.
that. Well, this is going to be nice because we get the Dark Horse comps to read, and then I'm sure this will be hardcovered. I mean, because it's fucking
Yeah.
Concrete. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Something that did connect with me, and it's asking a lot because Selena Kyle has never been
Oh yeah.
ever been my favorite character.
And why is that? Because you hate women, or is it because
No, I don't hate
of
women.
color, or what is?
I just I don't hate people of color either.
I'm kidding, bro. Relax.
Yeah, Rama's not my favorite character either. Yeah, it's whatever. But Absolute Catwoman, written by Scott Snyder and Che Grayson, with art and cover by Bengal. And Giovanna Niro is the colorist, and Lucas Gattoni is the letterer. I thought Absolute Catwoman was a whole lot of fun.
I agree.
I agree. And the best I've ever seen Bengal's art. For me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the innovations with Catwoman are neat. Like I love the tail that she uses as whip. I love the mecha aspect. And I'm not going to spoil it for those who, because this just came out what last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil it. But I love the mecha aspect of it. I love the ties to the old characters that it has. I thought it was, again, as a person who's not up to their neck in Selena Kyle, I thought it was a hell of a lot of fun. I like the costume.
Yep.
I think the her assets are on display, but it is Catwoman. Come on, I mean
Yes.
the cover is 100% tits.
Sure.
Yeah, it is.
I love that they have traditional Selena looking person stealing something in the traditional Catwoman outfit, and then Absolute Catwoman fucking tranks her and is like, that was fucking cool. That was really cool. I really like that play on
Right.
conception. Yeah, I think, as with seemingly all the Absolutes, I think that they find this way to balance of like the things most people probably like about the character are still there, but there's enough differences where it doesn't feel just like
right.
You know, and again, that is a really hard thing to balance. Like, I don't think I'd be up to the challenge. So like I'm continuously impressed with the Absolute crew able to do that. You know, Selena's absolutely fetching in this. She's a 25-year-old billionaire. Well, they don't say she's a billionaire, but she's like wealthy enough that she's already retiring, planning on retiring, and is having a private mountainside or oceanside rock-faced, super massive villa that she's built from scratch. So, I mean, again, maybe she's not a billionaire, but she's worth insane amounts of money from her work as a thief, and is basically we meet her at a point where she's ready to hang it up. But of course, life be lifing, and so she is not able to hang it up.
She must have reached under the couch at the wood establishment. And
yeah, her house is remarkably similar to Staley Wood.
Yes,
it is. It is.
Yeah. Maybe a few less windows, but yes.
I love.
She has less windows, but she does have a helipad. Which...
Yeah, you haven't gotten there yet.
We all have a helipad. I like the fact that Holly, spoilers, is included. It's just a whole lot of fun. I'm not taken with the absolute line as much as y'all.
Yes,
that's because you hate change, which is
we've established that.
No, there's a couple of books that I think are not good, and
I agree, and they seem to be the ones that you like, so that's fine. But that's cool.
Catwoman is not one of them.
Excellent.
Catwoman is very good.
It is. It's everything you said. I co-sign. You know, love the year one nods with of course the inclusion of Holly. The the origins very similar as far as what she's dealt with in her early life. The book itself, I mean, whether it was I enjoyed Bengal's work in Death of Glory. I did like Napalm Lullaby. This is slightly different, but still, it you can still tell it's Bengal. There's a lot of panels on some of these pages. I don't know. I don't know if Snyder's involvement is just because, hey, Selina appeared in Absolute Batman, and obviously, I mean, for lack of a better term, I guess he's basically the showrunner of the Absolute line. But I don't know.
Oh no, he absolutely
how,
is.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know. They're both listed as writers, so it's not like it's plot by Scott and written by. So I don't know what the working relationship is like. I don't know how much of Selina is Grayson's work, but I'm excited for the rest of this limited series. And again, no spoilers because of the last page, but I do like how they're incorporating other characters we're familiar with in the mainline DC Prime universe, but it there's a lot here. It's not necessarily. I mean, there's action. I wouldn't necessarily call it a quick read as fast paced as the art is. There's still things to linger on the page, whether it is the art, whether it is the writing, or the dialogue. But there's a lot here. It's a very action packed issue. There's just enough, and the way it's paced between some of the flashbacks and the more quiet moments with her normal life and what she's trying to accomplish, and then what of course she's thrust into. It's a solid first issue. I really liked it.
There was a number of times that Bengal could have cut and pasted, but they did not.
Yeah.
So thankfully, thumbs up, big thumbs up, big.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I noticed that the backgrounds look fairly robust as well.
Agreed.
Yeah. So what's not to love?
Seriously.
Yeah.
Another winner, another absolute winner.
Yep. I would give it a 9 out of 10. Wow. Yep.
I think that's about right. Yeah, I'm feeling
Yeah.
that.
Yep. Yep.
Now, Vince, what did you think of? Because I see it's on your list. M1 Monster Racing League number 1, and it's. I should mention that it is written by Lily Windom and Robert Windom. I don't know them. I'm not them. But the reason I picked up the book and the reason I was excited for the book is that it is drawn interiors by my man Jae Lee and his wife June Chung. And again, I've said over the years that anytime Jae Lee is going to take the time to actually draw the interiors of a comic, I'm checking it out. But what you think?
I think Jae Lee is a better illustrator than he is a sequential artist.
I think that's very fair.
I think his panel work is, while it is dynamic and fetching and bombastic, so to speak, I think it owes a lot to Hayden Sherman. Where I think that
I mean, Jae Lee's still about like 25 years of age.
So what?
Drawing comics before Hayden Sherman.
So what?
But okay.
Yeah. So what?
Well, I don't understand what you mean borrow from. I don't get that.
I don't think
there's a minute of Jae Lee's career that was inspired by Hayden.
I think that there's a lot of the layout that is indebted to Hayden Sherman, whereas I think a lot of the pages are Jae Lee just saying, "What the fuck? Why not?" Whereas he didn't do this kind of layout before Hayden Sherman. Well, a lot of these pages look like Hayden Sherman pages, without the drawing is definitely Jae Lee.
Sure.
Whereas I think the layout is inspired, maybe I'm wrong, by Hayden Sherman. And
It's interesting. I mean, I hadn't thought of it. I think the panel layouts are wildly crazy in this book, and not in a great way. Like, I think they feel totally random on a lot of pages.
right, yeah, exactly.
And and that's again why you're losing me with the Hayden Sherman, because I feel like Hayden
Well,
interesting panel layout.
it's someone trying
I see what you're saying.
to reproduce a Hayden Sherman layout without having the and it sucks to say, but the only word that I can use is experience. When Jae Lee decides to do a background, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's unbelievably beautiful. When he decides not to do a background, it's plain as day, right? Like, who gives a shit about gradations and like, we want to see this world, but this is the first issue of what would be a 5-issue miniseries, and a lot of the panels are blank.
Yes.
Like,
Yes, that's true.
let's get rolling. But that connotes that I did not like the issue. That's not true.
Right.
The truth of the matter is, I thought it was very, very engaging. I thought it was like, I want to know more about this type of character. I want to know more about the friend and the brother and the Monster Racing League, and who this person is at the end. That well, it's spoilers. I won't say, but for the most part, I thought it was fun, but with a slight caveat that it is jelly, it is beautifully drawn, but he picks and chooses his battles in this issue.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all fair. I think it's a weird thing because Jae Lee's, I don't know what it is, but when Jae Lee draws a character, I find it absolutely captivating. Like, I think the way he draws human beings is fucking hypnotic. Like, I just adore looking at his people. I just love it. I mean, in any way, like, cover, like, I just think I don't know what it is. It just turns me on. I think it's great and absolutely makes my brain fire off. Like, I'm here for it. But to your point, I think there is a reason why Jay is a consummate cover artist and does banging commissions,
Exactly.
but doesn't draw interiors all that often.
Yeah.
I have no particular issue with, like, his ability to be a narrative storyteller in this issue, save for the two things you point out, which are really fucking wild panel borders that seem more about trying to be graphically, aesthetically different than normal versus, like, because they help tell the story or are there for a reason.
Right.
And it's
right.
and like, some are just outright strange. I mean, like, just really, like, strange, like, acute angle panels that overlap with each other, and again, not to mind, as far as I can tell, in the service of the story. So it's just strange. And then, to your other point, he does his very best John Byrne. It's like, there
Exactly.
are half the panels have literally no background.
Yeah.
And again, that can be fine in a certain context, depending on the story and all, but, like, given what we know of Jay's notoriously, lateness and inability to maintain for artist, you can't help but then know that about him and think like this is just my guy trying to make deadlines. And again,
Right.
to your point too, also I agree with you. Like I enjoyed the book. I'm gonna get the next issue. Like because I love the way he draws people, and it was like a funky enough idea of like these beautiful people racing souped up cars against each other. I'm like, oh, that's fun. Like I'm here for it. But it is by no means a perfect comic, but it is largely on point enough relative to what I want from a Jae Lee
Right.
book that I'm gonna stick with it.
Exactly. I think pages. I didn't go through the whole thing, but pages 10 or 11 are essentially the same, right? Where the panels on 11 are somewhat extended, but they're essentially the same page, right?
Right.
Which is the same as page 13. Which is the same as page 17. Like, you're Jae Lee. You can do whatever you want, and we will.
Sure.
We'll read it. We will, because you draw like a fucking beast.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But it's beautiful, but for the most part, I need him to get away from symmetry, because symmetry is boring, and a lot of the panels feature symmetry. As I hate symmetry, but it's a me thing. It is, but
there's
I
a
get
lot
it.
of white between some of the panels as well, even with the
Yeah.
The panel borders are
it's insane, which is why
it's wild.
so
wild choices. Yeah.
when I while I agree with you, Vince, when I see Hayden do this on Absolute Wonder Woman or Dark Patterns, like they're tighter. They'll overlap, but they'll sort of story there. You're going to see all the figures they're meant to be. Here, things are a little just odd, and like Jason said, as great as he draws figures, if you're going to show a panel that is more narrow on one end and widens and then makes a sharp right angle, but the figure in the panel, you only see like half of their eye. I'm not sure. It's cool. I get it. You want June to have things to color, but I also need to see things that I'm supposed to make sense of what I'm. I enjoyed this more than This Ends Tonight, and while there were a ton of characters and there may be a little bit more backgrounds in those 3 issues, I really, with the first issue like this, I really enjoyed this particular story.
No, I get it. I thought, like, using an entire panel, which is basically a third of the page, to focus on the note that Dave gets, like, who the fuck cares? Who cares? We don't care. We don't care.
It feels more like Jay. Like he needs an art director. Like it's like he's like running around with the camera, fucking just zooming in and out, fucking like going up to the fucking second floor. Like he's not really like filming with thought. Like he's not channeling his perspective with the idea of how it tells the story. It feels very much like a 1990 like skateboard video. You're like, oh, like I'm seeing lots of fucking different camera angles. They don't really serve to help me understand what's going on.
Yeah. That said, I feel like I'm on a YouTube video, but that said, it's still a Jae Lee book.
Absolutely,
it's gorgeous.
Absolutely.
It's fucking beautiful, but his choices, a lot of the compositions are crazy. Like to put a character's face in an L-shaped panel is nuts. It's just crazy. But
Yeah.
I want to know more about Death. I want to know why she's such a great driver and was able to beat this uh, unbeatable foe.
Yeah.
I want to know more about the friendship. I want to know, but you know, to say this issue was a masterpiece is not true.
No,
But
no.
to say it was good, bordering on, it was really good.
It succeeds in spite of itself. I mean, in a lot
It
of
does.
ways.
It does. Yeah. 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 I thought, yeah, I can't say it any more succinctly than you did. I thought it was good.
Nice.
I'd be lying if I didn't. So there you go. 10:39. I'm, I'm glad you had a wonderful time. Please, if you want to save on your OGNs, your omnibus editions, your manga, your collected editions, who doesn't want to save? Go to cheapgraphicnovels.com. I'm really tired, so you can hear it in my voice, but that does not squelch my enthusiasm for cheapgraphicnovels.com.
Damn, Skippy.
Yeah, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/11 o'clock comics. 3 tiers, a buck, $5, $10.
That's true.
Easy.
I don't think we've ever had
And
a one person, but
no, we have a bunch.
yeah. Maybe we do.
Yeah, yeah, we do. In the meantime, leave us a review, no matter where you hear about this and in your travels. This is going to be either the best review you've ever heard or the worst, because this book is basically unreviewable. Now, what if I said it presents a lot of problems to me to review a book like this, because how do you judge the work of a true giant in juxtaposition between the work of a true giant? And that those two works juxtapose against the work of a true giant. it's reviewing this book is stupid. It is. It's dumb. But what if I said that there was a book out there that had the work of Al Feldstein, giant, Marie Severin, giant, Jack Davis, giant, Joe Orlando, giant, like Bill Gaines. Well, sorta. There was a lot of Stan in Bill, but Wally Wood, Bill Alder, like it's just ridiculous to try and review this. It's just called Panic, Volume 1. This is no magazine. This is a Panic. It's part of the EC archives. It's published by Dark Horse. The cover is done by Basil Wolverton. Like, shut up. What can I say about this book? Is the work of Basil Wolverton less or greater than the work of Wally Wood?
Oh man. I
It's different, but
I
yeah.
mean, I prefer to look at Bollywood art, but
Same.
but I don't know that I'm not willing to like take it to that level and say that like Bollywood comic career is better than Wolverine. So I don't know. Why? Where do you stand on it?
What happened?
I don't know.
Number
Did we
one,
lose Vince?
Did you get
Huh?
you meet yourself, Vince?
I'm here. Yeah.
Oh well, we threw it back to you,
quiet.
dog.
I didn't hear you at all.
I still can't hear him.
Yeah.
Well,
Are you muted?
no,
It was
Okay.
awfully quiet.
but no.
Hear you now.
I can hear you
Well,
now.
well, Chip, I'm not going to go over what I said, but what I said basically was by this book, Panic Volume 1.
All right.
It's loaded with the work of true giants of the industry.
Yeah, I think we last heard you, and I said to you, we couldn't choose. Who do you think had the better?
I said I can pick.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Okay, so
listen,
we're on the same boat then. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
there's no way I can pick.
Yeah. Agreed.
No, yeah.
And I'm
Panic.
glad that
Volume 1.
I'm glad that our course decided to reprint this because I mean the first volume, the hardcover, came out 10 years ago, just over 10 years ago. So the fact that they are doing this in trade
Yeah,
paperback now, and it's affordable as hell, it's
and
$20.
oh god, it's stupid affordable. It's
Yeah,
$20 retail,
Wow.
which means that um, you're going to get it for about 13,
Yeah, it's
12,
mad dumb.
$13.
that's
It
nuts.
is, and it's in color, printed
Love that.
on glossy paper. Whether you ascribe to the fact that the new colorist, Violet Marie Severance, coloring it, yeah, I guess they kind of it did, uh, whatever. But just buy it. Just buy it. I think that there are 2 volumes slated. I have my 2 on pre-order. It is the first official, in quotes, parody of Mad. Yeah, you need this book. You need it.
Sounds like it.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm I'm a little sort of kind of surprised that it's a Dark Horse thing and not Fanta. I'm mad. I mean, it's still. I'm glad either one of them could be. But yeah, the first 6 issues
Right.
of Panic. Yeah,
Well,
I'm definitely ordering this.
Fanta is the preview of Fanta is black and white
Oh, okay,
EC
yeah,
reprint.
Right.
yeah, I read
The
that.
the preview of Dark Horse is color.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that tracks. Okay, sweet. That's a good
Yep.
pick. This is a little different because, well, I mean, we started off the comic talk on a negative Marvel comic. This one, I decided to try. I haven't read Amazing Spider-Man since Peter was returning from space, and I completely avoided the serial killer crossover with the other books. So, the cover of number 31 intrigued me because it's just called it says The Talk, and it's got Ben and May on the cover, and I haven't read a comic drawn by Patrick Gleason in a minute because I was really happy when he came back when he he left DC early on in when Bendis was signed, and then went to Marvel, and he was messing around with Amazing Spider-Man, and I wasn't reading that run, but I was glad to see. I'm like, okay, cool. I got to see Gleason on some books I want to read, and then of course, Marvel had its dry spell, so I haven't really checked anything out. But now he drew issue number 31, which just came out, so I'm not going to spoil anything, but it looks great. And there's two stories going on in this issue. One is this this location called Killington House, which is basically a a fighting arena, sponsored, hosted by the Vulture, and Tombstone is also here, kind of like holding court, and basically you fight for a prize, and the prize could be whatever. In this case, the first fight we see between Montana and Tarantula, and they're going to they're fighting for the assets of the Trapster, formerly known as Paste Pot Pete, and Spidey shows up, much to everybody's chagrin, because there's something he wants, but while that is happening, we cut to while all that's going on, we cut to a more subdued scene with Peter and May, and May's current boyfriend, and this other dude, whose name is Cormac Crane, and he looks extremely familiar. He looks like someone Pete knows. And it turns out he's Peter's cousin. And the reason this issue is called The Talk is because May has some splaining to do. And I'm trying to, I don't know what the solicits may have said about this, and I don't know what any of the solicits for the next couple of months may say about this. But because this is on the recap credits page, I'm just going to say, so anybody who wants to skip this for the next few seconds, Cormac Crane is May and Ben Parker's son. And May goes into detail about she and Ben wanting a family, and that they couldn't, and that she miscarried multiple times, and then they took a trip. They went to Ireland, came back from Ireland, and lo and behold, she's pregnant. And she thought that the child died right after childbirth. So she hadn't seen this person ever. But yes, he does have a striking resemblance to his father. Joe Kelly is your writer. Did a great job between the action of the Killington House and the moments with May, and Gleason does a great job of showing the anguish and torment, because she's obviously kept this from Peter. Obviously treated Peter like her son. It's a I don't know. Vince may not really. I don't know if this is going to be one of your favorite issues, because it does look like Patrick kind of does some cut and pasting. There is some stats. There's even one panel. Okay, and what did you think?
I hated it.
You hated it because of the revelation, or just
because it's May.
Right.
She should have been dead on Ansem 400.
Sure. Yes. No, I get all that. Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that she doted on Peter as a surrogate son, it makes it seem like she did so not only because she loved Peter, because she was doting on her natural born son.
Right.
And I hated it. I thought it was completely unnecessary. I've been following Joel Kelly's run since the beginning, and I think he's done some good things and some not so good things. But this issue, I didn't like it at all.
Okay.
But that not so boring that we can agree on everything.
No, that's
You
fine.
know?
No, I thought
Yeah.
it was. I mean, listen. There is. I mean, yes, May is still alive. Yes, I mean, whether it was issue 400, whether it was when Kingpin took the
Like
hit out on her after Civil War, there should be a million reasons why this woman
like
should no longer
die
be here.
already.
I know.
Die.
Yes.
Die.
She's one of my wife's least favorite characters in all of comics. But
You're like 90 already.
yes,
Die.
yes.
It's okay if you die.
Hell, Alfred is dead. I mean, come on. I mean, I think we can move on.
Yeah.
But it's I do appreciate Kelly doing something like this where it is, and whether this gets wished away or whatever, who knows? But the fact that he kind of just not spiced it up isn't the right word, but he added something that that I didn't think. I mean, it's I'm not saying this is akin to Brubaker bringing Bucky back, but he did something with characters that have, whether you want to say they were stagnant or there's just been no change to them.
Right.
There's now something new, and I appreciated that little jolt. Whether or not, I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to read the next 15 issues of this to find out what the hell happens with Cormac Crane, but I thought he took a shot, and I can't be mad at him for that. So
Right.
and
Exactly.
because I got to read a comic drawn by Gleason, so I mean I'm cool with this. But yeah, it's been a minute since I was able to talk about Kelly's Spidey run. So appreciate what he did here in your travels. The Amazing Spider-Man number 31.
There you go. I don't think they should get take backs like Brand New Day and One More Day. I think they should
Stick to
be
your guns.
stick to your guns. Exactly.
Yeah, you made this move. And
Right.
there's something else. I'm not going to derail our conversations with this. There's something I'll mention this probably for the bonus content, or I'll save it for. But yeah, there's something regarding the Absolute line I want to bring up later. But I want to hear Jason's in your travels.
Yeah, I mean, in your travels, I want y'all to reconnect with Ghost Machine. I feel like we haven't talked about
Yes.
Ghost Machine nearly as much as we used to. And, probably reasons for that, but nevertheless, because we're about to have the first ever Ghost Machine crossover event, which, could be cool, could be awful. We'll see. I'm hopeful though, because I feel like this is a really strong creative team with a really strong editorial line of sight. But to kick off said crossover, we have a new book, and that is The $1 Trillion Kid. This is like many of the Ghost Machine books. They kind of take a riff of a conceptual character that is familiar to us, and then they really change it up. In this case, this is their version of Richie Rich. Tommy Townsend is a 13-year-old trillionaire. He's the world's first trillionaire, and he is an inventor. He comes from a wealthy family, though. His grandfather was a billionaire. His parents were incredibly wealthy, too. And then his parents' business, which is a Band-Aid business, gets run into the ground. But Tommy is a prodigy, and he starts inventing new types of Band-Aids, which then begets other ideas, and he becomes a trillionaire. But the conceit here is that despite having all this wealth and doing good with it and being very benevolent and philanthropic, he's putting on a bit of a facade because his parents and his family disappeared, and he's got stand-ins effectively who act like his family so that he doesn't basically get being a 13-year-old, he can't just be on his own. So, but the event is going to be he's looking for the unbelievable, these fantastical characters in their world, because he believes that some of them were involved in his parents' disappearance. And we get all of that in this issue. We get the setup of his history and the status quo. It is written by It's duly written by Jeff Johns and Peter Tomasi, which makes sense because they're the two writers books holistically, and it's drawn by someone who I don't think I'm familiar with their work prior. Maybe I have, but I just don't remember. But Stefano Simeone is the artist, and I really enjoyed Stefano's art. Yeah, listen, I mean, it takes quite a deft hand, I think, to make a trillionaire someone you want to root for in today's world, where we have an ever increasing wealth gap. And ironically, I'm sure they didn't think this would be the case when they pitched this book months ago on their when they were coming up with it. But we actually have a tried and true real life trillionaire at this point, and it's not someone that most of us root for. But there's a lot of heart in the book, despite that. And again, it's because he's Richie Rich, right? Like Richie Rich was this one sweet, kind-hearted, kid who had more money than God, and then that's really what I think they're going for here. I thought the art looked great. I thought the book, if I'm going to be critical, it's a very, very wordy book, and there's not a lot of action. I think it very much reads like a setup, a preamble to the event itself, which I think it is, right? I mean, that is what it exists to be, but I think as a first issue of a new series, it maybe does leave a little bit on the table in that regard. But it worked for me just fine because I'm really excited about the event. And I like the character, and I love the art. So definitely, I mean, in your travels, reconnect with the Ghost Machine world if you've been lapsing, and do check out $1 Trillion Kid #1.
Yeah, talk me into it.
I know it's harder for a trillionaire. I get it.
Not just well, I mean, I'm friends with one, but there's
And you hate kids. And you hate kids.
I do hate kids, especially rich kids. But what I like about the Ghost Machine world imprint. I kind of stick with the books that kicked off the launch. I haven't really gone back to the Rockefellers after the first few issues. The Unbelievables, like the Halo and Hornsby, that part of the line, I haven't really gotten into, so I wasn't sure if I was really going to.
Oh, then you probably shouldn't read this then, because the Rockefellers and Hale and Hornsby.
Right, I know, because that's what the whole crossover is about.
Yeah.
But it's been a minute since I've enjoyed a good crossover. So and you're saying this is the setup, so I'll see how I feel about this and see where we go from here.
There you go.
Oh, I thought it had it on mute. That did not.
Okay.
Oh well. Hey, buddy, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Come back for the next one. In the meantime, leave us a review, cheapcoffeenovels.com, Patreon. Say goodnight. Mm-hmm. Wow. Look at that. David.
Good night.
Stonky now.
I'm turned.
Yeah.
I'm turned.
David.
Yeah, exactly. We love you. Come back next time.
Thanks for putting up with us.
Facts.
And
That's it for that one.